Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking exactly how artificial intelligence is radically transforming student life. We've been analyzing some truly fascinating source material that breaks down how students are using these digital assets to completely change the game when it comes to their workload. We're going to look at 10 incredible tools that can basically give you superpowers.
Now, there's a pretty intense debate going on right now, right? Is relying on AI just making students lazy? Is it slowing down our cognitive development? Well, the source material we're looking at argues the exact opposite. It presents a really strong case that a student who actually knows how to properly utilize AI can achieve so much more in significantly less time than a typical student. It's definitely not about skipping the work. It's about giving yourself a superpower to massively enhance the work you are already doing. So here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover nailing assignments, supercharging your study sessions, conquering STEM subjects, and finally, some everyday life hacks. All right, let's jump right into section 1, nailing your assignments, specifically writing and presenting. Okay, so our first tool is Quillbot. The absolute crucial point to remember here is that teachers are strictly checking for AI these days. When you submit an assignment, the very first thing your professor does is run it through an AI detector. And while Quillbot does help you check if your text triggers those detectors, its real superpower is how it brilliantly polishes your grammar and paraphrasing. Like, even if you wrote the entire assignment completely manually, running it through this tool will automatically fix those pesky grammatical mistakes and instantly improve the phrasing. You just get a significantly better final product. It's honestly an absolute must-have for written submissions. Picture this scenario. You step into class, and suddenly you're asked to stand up and deliver a presentation with literally only an hour to prepare. In the past, you'd be sweating over PowerPoint formatting for hours, probably ending up with a pretty clunky slideshow anyway. Well, Gamma AI completely eliminates this. You just give it your topic, and it instantly auto-selects professional templates and pulls the relevant info to build the entire presentation for you. It's wild. It basically makes you look like an absolute pro in seconds. But hey, we know not all assignments are typed, right? For those highly specific online submissions where your professors insist on handwritten work, the source cheekily mentions a website called texttohandwriting.com. It's exactly what it sounds like. You simply paste your typed text into the site, and it converts it into this amazingly realistic handwritten font. Then you just download it as an image and upload it as your submission. Now, as the source humorously points out, they aren't explicitly telling you to do this, but they also can't stop you from knowing it exists. You know what I mean? Moving right along to section 2, supercharging your study sessions, prep and review. So let's talk about building the perfect study loop using Diddy.ai. You know that feeling when you think you've memorized everything, but then your mind just goes completely blank when the actual test comes? Yeah, we've all been there. With this tool, you simply upload your specific course documents. The AI then analyzes your exact text and generates a customized, completely random quiz based solely on your files. Because it randomizes the questions every single time, you can truly guarantee you know your material by letting the AI test you way before your professor ever does. Okay, now for one of my absolute favorites. I really love this analogy from the source for Google's Notebook LM. Think of it as the ultimate university senior. You know, that older student who has read absolutely every single textbook, maybe failed a class once so they know all the pitfalls to avoid, and just gives the most perfect advice? That is Notebook LM. Rather than searching Google and getting random global information that might not even be on your syllabus, the kind of stuff that makes your teacher ask, where on earth did you copy this from? Notebook LM lets you upload your entire textbook. It then strictly pulls answers directly from that specific material. It essentially just drinks your whole book. You can upload massive PDF textbooks, and when you ask it a question, it doesn't just give you the answer. It tells you exactly how it formulated it, complete with the exact page sources. But wait. It gets even better. You can ask it to extract just the important points. Or, say you have a test in the morning and haven't read a single thing, you can ask it to summarize chapter 1 specifically. You can even drop a YouTube podcast link into it, let the AI listen to the whole thing, and then ask it questions or request summaries. It is literally a phenomenal study companion. Next up, section 3, conquering STEM subjects, math and sciences. When you're dealing with those heavy-hitter STEM subjects, complex data visualization can honestly be a total nightmare to format manually.
And this is exactly where Napkin AI comes in. Whenever you have a tricky physics or math statement or some really complex data that needs to be compiled and visualized for a presentation, Napkin AI is built specifically for that. It reads the context of your complicated statements and automatically generates the exact flowchart, pie chart, or graph you need. It genuinely understands your core requirements and just automatically adjusts the information to perfectly fit the visual format. A total game changer. And that brings us to Galf AI, which the source describes as perhaps the single most powerful tool on this entire list. What makes Galf AI so incredibly unique is that it separates your problems into distinct sections: physics, chemistry, and math. All you have to do is snap a quick photo of the problem. Because you pre-selected the subject, the AI deeply understands the context. It actually knows whether it's looking at a chemistry equation or a physics problem, which means it solves it with the exact correct scientific context, rather than just blindly guessing at numbers. Finally, we arrive at Section 4, Everyday Student Life Hacks, Organization and Skills. Look, instead of downloading clunky, expensive software to your laptop or phone, you really just need tinywow.com. It features over 100 free tools all on a single website. We all know that feeling of absolute panic right before you need to print an assignment and the formatting is suddenly wrong, or the file size is way too big, right? Well, TinyWow instantly solves all of that. You can change PDFs to images, edit PDFs directly, compress file sizes, and swap image formats all entirely for free. This is a bookmark that every single student absolutely must have in their browser. Next up is organization. The source makes a great point here, noting that professors tend to hand out assignments like they're giving out candy. With so much going on, it is incredibly easy to just completely forget a due date until it's way too late. Todoist is an app designed specifically for assignment scheduling. It ensures you never forget a deadline again by tracking all your different subjects in one unified place. Plus, it sends you constant reminders so absolutely nothing ever slips through the cracks. Now, let's talk about the number 2. It represents something pretty profound: the superpower of a second language. The source really highlights that learning a second language, whether that's English, Chinese, Spanish, whatever, is a massive advantage for a student's future. They even share this great anecdote about their own company desperately hiring a candidate who honestly had zero other specific talents, simply because he was fluent in a language they needed for their sales department. To achieve this yourself, they highly recommend Duolingo. It gamifies the entire language learning process, pulling you away from those boring textbooks and making it surprisingly fun and easy to acquire this vital superpower. To wrap things up, the source playfully asks their viewers to hit subscribe to help them reach their 3 million subscriber milestone at rabbit speed rather than their current turtle speed. But, that analogy leaves us with the ultimate question for you. How fast will you adapt these AI tools into your own workflow? Will you adopt them at rabbit speed and gain these amazing superpowers? Or will you stay at turtle speed and risk being left behind? The tools are out there, they're completely free, and they are absolutely ready to transform your student life. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to start experimenting with these today.